Hello, everybody, and welcome to another chapter of Tao Te Ching. Today we are looking at chapter 61, Being Great. This is a really wonderful verse for a number of reasons. It is, once again, at the core of so much that I talk about in my recovery or self-work. It is like let's look at what it is you're attracting and what you believe about that, and then trace it back to misunderstandings about how the world is and how you interact with the world, or how you see the world interacting with you. So these are the things that we're sort of looking at, and what this means. The title, Being Great, it's really just about like this is, you want to be great, this is how you can do it. And it's not go get a job and earn a bunch of money, and it doesn't have anything to do with all of these sorts of like ideas of what we think is success and other things like that. What it has to do with is just constantly growing, constantly looking at yourself and what you're attracting, and where you're focusing your energy. So let's go ahead and look at number 61 and see what it says, and then we can break it down from there. Being great requires the ability to be humble, so as to receive that which is attracted with tranquility. Attraction is the most primal of expressions. To receive that which is attracted is to know oneself. All great beings realize when they err. Having realized it, they admit it and correct it to the best of their ability. The greatest beings seek out those who can identify their faults. They consider their enemy a part of themselves that requires attention. To be centered in Tao is to nourish all related things. It is not interfere or meddle in the errors of others. I'm going to read that last section again. To be centered in Tao is to nourish all related things, to not interfere or meddle in the errors of others. So this goes through a couple different sections, and I hope that that's really clear about what it is trying to say and what it is pointing to. But we'll go through it. I want to go through it section by section, and then we can talk about each section a bit. Being great requires the ability to be humble, so as to receive that which is attracted with tranquility. If you are arrogant and you attract criticism, you're not always going to receive that criticism with humility. And that's what this is sort of saying. And it's not just about humility. It's about knowing, like, if you walk around saying, I'm great, and then someone shows you where you're not, you might not take that as, oh, maybe I should look at that. You'd probably dismiss it and dismiss the person, maybe even put the person down. There's a lot of that going on in the world today, right? Like those raised fists and like, I'm angry and you said, and people cannot receive that which they're attracting with tranquility. They're receiving it with a lot of hostility. So if you want to be great, you have to be humble. Being humble allows you to receive what is attracted, and remember, you are attracting that which that which is what you're focused on, right? So that which you are attracting. So being great requires the ability to be humble, so as to receive that which you've asked for with tranquility. Attraction is the most primal of expressions. To receive that which is attractive is to know oneself. That means if you're attracting criticism, that means there's some criticism going on within you. And when you attract that and you receive it with humility, and you're like, this is showing me myself. Let me step back and let me look at this. Let me take it into consideration that, I might be the one acting the way I think they're acting. All great beings realize when they err. Now we start talking about error. What error means here is like, oh, You just saw what you're attracting. Is this what you want to be attracting? Is this what you want? And it's not that everything you experience is yours to deal with, whether it's disease or frustration or a job or money or whatever. Everything is yours to deal with. It might not be your fault, but it's your responsibility. Like, it's your life. Like, here it is. This is presenting itself to you. If you want to be like, I'm an empath and I'm taking on other people's energy. No, you can't take on other people's energy. You can only take on your own. And if that exists within you, if that energy that this person is spreading exists within you, it will resonate with you. You will receive it. Now, can you receive it with tranquility, or do you receive it as a victim of someone else? Because if you receive it with tranquility, then you have humility about what's going on in the world, and you recognize that it's yours. It's yours. All great beings. You might not be a great being, but the idea is that you would want to be one. All great beings realize when they err, meaning that, oh, I'm receiving something that is not what I want to be receiving, is not what I want to be putting into the world. Okay, well, where is that? Where is that within me, right? That's an error. Having realized it, once I realize I have an error, once I realize I have an error in the way I think and the way I process things, you admit it and correct it to the best of your ability. You admit it and correct it to the best of your ability. That doesn't mean you correct it completely at this moment. You correct it to the best of your ability now. You admit, well, I'm being criticized. I do criticize others. I admit it. And I'll correct it to the best of my ability at this moment. The greatest beings seek out those who can help identify their faults. This is what I say when be around people that trigger you. I mean, that doesn't mean be around them so that you can be their victim or anything. But if you go around people and they trigger you, good. Don't avoid them. Don't kick them out of your life. Look at yourself. What is it they trigger about you? Find love for that person. Because if you can love that person, if you can love your enemy, which is what the next line says, they consider their enemy a part of themselves that requires attention. Their enemy is just, if you have an enemy at all, that means there's a part of you that emulates and resembles that which you hate about that other person. And you have to figure that out and address it. Because every time you get triggered, there's another part of yourself you're not loving, another part of the world you're not loving, and another part of you that is not great. To be centered in Tao is to nourish all related things, and everything is related. And so you're here to nourish those things, not bring them down. And they start within you. To not interfere or meddle in the errors of others. Yes, other people are going to have ideas that they don't want to attract, but you don't get involved in that. You can only get involved in your own shit. And so be still. Find that which is within you that is at odds and needs attention. So look out in the world, see all the things that you don't like, and then address it within yourself. And then you will find love for those things around you that you currently can only hate. Thank you for joining me for another chapter of the Tao Te Ching. That was 61, being great. And until next time, keep recovering yourself.